Hello, the Faniac is back with yet another review as I briefly, hopefully, talk about Lightyear. Yeah, this surprisingly got a lot of controversy. I can see why, and I can also see why not, for a lot of reasons. But let's dive into this movie, shall we? So, I'm just gonna say this. It has been built up like crazy. The disrespect of the villain, the establishment of why the hell do you have to keep putting down this same frickin' message? Like, we get it. We get that hammered in a lot. And and families are taking their kids and be like, why do you have that in? Like, on the one hand, it's brief. I don't get all that hate for that. On the other hand, I can understand the hate for the villain treatment, but we'll get to that later. Overall, what do I think? I honestly don't think it's as bad as people let on to be. By Pixar standards, it's actually pretty okay. Nothing special, but pretty entertaining. Granted, I wasn't expecting that much from this movie. What was I expecting? Well, at most, I was expecting it to be a nice, fun popcorn movie that's like reminiscent of like Spielberg and Star Wars, trying to be like a live big grand picture based on like that Saturday morning cartoon Andy would probably watch in Toy Story. Featuring the same characters with Buzz Lightyear in like a big movie. That's at most what I was expecting from this. What did we get though? Well, to be fair, I will put this out there. Chris Evans does his best as Buzz Lightyear. Like, he was well cast. Like, it's a shame they don't have Tim Allen for this movie. And actually, it's even more interesting. Why did they just have him be Zurg? That would actually be a lot more really cool when you think about that. But whatever, that's just my headcanon. But yeah, I will say he does a brief. He's a pro. He's done this job before. He easily slits into like any character you give him. He's a good actor. So, and he does Buzz Lightyear, I think, proper justice as Buzz Lightyear, at least in this movie. So, granted, he is good as Lightyear. His character arc is pretty interesting. And there is a lot of cool, interesting stuff about this movie. It kind of deals with him with regret as he is kind of cocky and naive, which is very reminiscent of Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, and that from the Star Wars movies, which I could definitely tell I got inspiration from, even then, in Toy Story 2. But he's like very cocky while they're on this weird desert jungle planet, whatever it is. I don't even know what the name of it is. But point is, the ship lands on a remote planet he's investigating on Star Command orders. But they realize there's a harsh plant life out there that's about to kill them. So they race to the ship, and when he's trying to ram it up, he can't make it because of the altitude or whatever. So it drops, trapping them all there on the planet. Feeling it's all down on him, like, holy crap, I just screwed all these people here. Filled with regret and hoping to make amends, he decides to make the first test flight for with newly developed hyperfuel, and thus put it in, and he goes on a flight. But what's really interesting is the fact that they establish time travel. The more he travels, the faster in time he goes. So the first time he goes, it's been 4 years. All his friends have aged, and she got engaged. But whatever. Point being is, it's really interesting, and it's really kind of heartbreaking. He travels so much more and more and more until he gets to the point of it's, oh my gosh, my best friend died. Holy crap. Like, wow. Like, that is sad. Like, I feel for that. That was very sad. But then he realizes that because he's been traveling so much, because he's gone so far into the future, that now they just gave up. They're like, no, we like it here. It's cool. So, yeah, he's just like, what? You gave up on the mission? No, we have to like keep doing it. And then he finds out with the comedy relief Socks the cat, who is actually really funny in this, that he actually solved the hyperfuel formula and thus properly prepares it at the lab, and they steal a ship and ram all the way successfully, but accidentally also go about roughly 20 years into the future, where he meets Izzy, I think, his best friend's granddaughter, who they now is outside of the city, or dome as I like to call it, or even they like to call it, where Zurg has come with his robots to corner them. And thus, and also it is well known and really funny that Buzz Lightyear does not like working with rookies, which is kind of a cool, I guess, arc with him for this. But he deals with him having to get to know Izzy, getting to train her and the other two rookies. One of them voiced by Taika Waititi. Yeah, he's all seasoned this. But yeah, and thus they go on a nice little fun adventure with laser fights, stargazing and stuff. And also, I will mention this. It also, I did not know this, the very first animated movie to be filmed for IMAX. Like, they developed it on the frame to expand for IMAX screens using new IMAX technology to render it at the tall frame rate. I did not know that going in. And I really feel like maybe I missed something from the movies. Like, holy crap, maybe this could have been awesome seeing it in IMAX, like on the giant screen. It would have been cool to see it, but it was still a good stream, no less. So I'll give credit there. But yeah, and then he realizes that they can't go back into the dome because the dome is shielded and is stopping them from getting in and them inside the dome from getting out because the robots are easily cornering them. And so they go on a mission to get up to Zurg's ship to shut off the control switch, put down all the robots, kind of reminiscent of Star Wars Episode 1. Whatever, I see there's a lot of Star Wars references in this movie, which is freaking awesome. I love that. But of course they go through trials and tribulations until Zurg finally captures Buzz, and then we get their twist. Are you ready? If you don't know this, spoilers. If you do, well, here it is. Zurg is not Buzz's dad, though we'll give credit, they do make a joke about that. Instead, it's apparently an alternate version of Buzz Lightyear from an alternate timeline. Yeah. So apparently, this Buzz did the exact same thing, but instead, when he came back, he actually landed on the planet with no Zurg, and he was treated like a villain, like, holy crap, we don't want you here, get out of here, come on, get out of the ship, you stole that. He kept going further and further and further into the future, till he got older and wearier, and then he's just like, and then he went and saw this unbelievable technology, which I guess he also kind of stole. It's pretty vague how he got all that stuff after he traveled further into the future. I assume he stole it, though, which is very different from what this Buzz would do at this point. Or maybe he kind of is. I guess maybe it is. I don't know. Point being is that now we know the weird twist truth that Zurg is an alternate timeline version of Buzz Lightyear from this movie. I guess there is potential, but honestly, why could it have been Buzz's dad? It was established like that in the Toy Story franchise, so why not have it be like reminiscent of a father-son relationship like in Star Wars, except maybe this time actually show Buzz's dad interacting with him and then establishing a rift. And then when he traveled to the future, he realizes like maybe his dad kind of like had a weird point and snapped. And this is like, wow, you're not at all like I remember you. And then Buzz's dad maybe would have been like, no, this was me all along. I was just hiding this real me from you or something. I don't know. But that could have been interesting. That could have been interesting to explore. But they go for this route, and honestly, it's fine. It could be better played, like it's a twist, like, oh yeah, Buzz's dad. I mean, we would see that coming, but at least you could build up to it and establish it, and thus making the delivery predictable, but still kind of chilling. But no, they do it this way, and it's not god-awful, but it could be better. So it's definitely not as awful, I think, as people let it on to be, but it could have been better, I guess. So yeah, that's my version of how I see it. But screw it, what happens? Okay, so then Buzz gets the hyperfuel. Buzz gets the hyperfuel, steals it from regular Buzz, tells him all this stuff, and he's like, dude, we could finally go back, stop that ship from crashing, and we could get all of them back to Earth, safe and sound, or wherever Star Command base is, I don't know. So, but then Buzz realizes, holy crap, I went through all this stuff with Izzy, and now if I go back in time, my best friend will never meet the woman to give, I guess, birth to this family. And then Buzz is like, No, I just realized. Home is where you are, and I guess my home is with Izzy. I like being with her. And if I go back in time and fix that, I would never let Izzy happen, which would make me feel bad also. So it's kind of like it's an interesting play that's been done before, but I feel like it's done okay here. Could have been better played, but it's done generally well. And thus, of course, you have your epic space fight with Zurg getting his wings, and Buzz also. They're having a giant epic space fight. He wins, which also leads to some mid and end credit stingers. Didn't know they would be in this movie, but they are, apparently. But, and then it leads to the fact of now they succeed. Buzz is welcomed back as a hero. They re-establish the Space Ranger Corps for Star Command. He's allowed to be Space Ranger. Izzy, who had a weird arc of overcoming her fear of space, can now become a Space Ranger like Buzz, like her hero, like she always wanted to. And the other Space Rangers, the other rookies, become Space Rangers too. Even though they're not funny or we barely know anything about them. So, yeah, okay. But they're Rangers too, and sucks. Oh, that was just funny just to see him looking in that weird outfit, but whatever. That's the movie ending, and then we get a mid-credit stinger with the general from the movie who replaced his best friend. He's like, dumb. Love it. And then we also get the end-credit stinger of Zurg coming, like, homing, like, the globe forming again, like, oh yeah, we're doing a sequel. Don't know if that's gonna happen. Not with how much money this made, or considering what people are saying about it. I don't know if the sequel's even gonna happen. But, they tried. I've seen worse movies. I've seen even worse movies for Pixar, so I can't even say it's that bad. I guess I'm kind of in the middle. On the one hand, I enjoy it enough as is. As is, it's a very decent adventure. You can watch with your family, turn your brain off for a second, and feel like you're like a little kid watching like a grand space fight adventure come to life on the big screen. It's kind of cool. So with that perspective, it's pretty good. It serves up as decent popcorn action stuff, so I'm okay with that. But on the other hand, I can also see how it could have been a much better movie. And that also weirdly also ties in with it being Andy's favorite movie, like from the first Toy Story, but whatever, screw it. Okay. But that's how I feel about this movie. I like it enough as is. I instantly see how it could be better, and I kind of can put together enough to like, oh yeah, I can probably do this. So yeah. But, okay, that's how I think. I'm gonna award Buzz Lightyear, or Lightyear, as the movie is apparently called, 4 out of 5 stars. Like most movies I've heard people ranting about this year, like most of them, not as bad as the people led on to be. But instantly also, I can see where people are coming from and how it could have been better. But as is, it's still enjoyable. You can watch it with your family, have some popcorn, have a drink, and still have a good time. So from that perspective, if you like the trailers, if you just want to turn your brain off and watch a nice, decent movie with your family, this is the movie for you. But if you're worried about all the toxic controversy you're hearing, I don't know what you're going to think. I liked it enough as is. Well, you know what? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and I hope the Faniac can review more movies soon. Take care.